Good evening, all, and hello to chat. It's me, the Old Geek, and it's Friday, which is the middle of my working week this week, as I've got to work tomorrow and Sunday night. Joy, joy, oh joy, oh joy, oh joy. I do apologise if I look a little bit shattered tonight. I had to go to work an hour early this morning. Didn't get much sleep, so if I sort of flake out during the stream and start wobbling on, and it all starts going to pieces, then you know exactly why. You know exactly why. Hello, Halakar. Hello, Slan. Only a couple of people in at the moment. Might have to give it a bit of time to build up before we get properly into the book. So if you're in chat at the moment, just pop in and say hello. Ask me something. Let's just use up the time until more people join us. Because obviously for these books to work, we've got to have a fair few people in chat. Has anyone had any gaming this week? Talk about it in chat. I'll respond to it. Shall we? Or is that dangerous? Saying I'll respond to something. Anyway, if you're in chat, just say hello. We are, of course, playing that book. I think we are close to the end once again, but I'm not going to kick it off until we've got a few more in. I do have something to announce tonight. How familiar are you guys with werewolf or mafia type games, where there's a group of bad guys who all know each other and a much bigger group of good guys who don't know who anybody is, and the mafia guys have got to stay alive and the good guys have got to find the mafia and vote them out and in order to win. One of those has just completed. I'm playing lots of them. One of those has just completed, big one, 30-player one, completed about 30 minutes ago. I was one of the bad guys and we won. It was a Star Wars one, and we won, which was marvelous. I had to be very, very deceitful and devious on the last few days, but we did. Hello, Thief Keith. Hello, Crafting Game. Yes, we finished on the Plum's choice, didn't we? We finished on whether we go for the little boy's plums. There we go. That's the instant demonetization of this stream. I've been doing a little bit of work for the OSE game. I've got 9 people interested at the moment, which is a bit frightening. Most I've ever DM'd for online before is 6. So let's see how that all works out. People have started making their characters. If anyone is interested in the OSE game, then there's a thing in the Discord with some of the optional rules that I am and am not using and that sort of thing. Hello, Jean. Nice, hot, fresh cup of tea. Keep me awake because the head is fading tonight. Is 5 enough to start the book? As it drops to 4. Oh well, somebody's been and somebody's gone. I'm primed on the bit that we've got saved in the book. It is apples or plums, but we're not going to start that yet. We're just going to have a little bit of a chat first. But nobody wants to ask me anything. Everyone's just being nice and polite and friendly and saying hello. Jean, I got the files you sent me the other night, but I have something to admit about the previous ones you sent before. You sent me the previous lot before, the White Dwarf ones. On a weekend that I was really, really busy and I completely forgot to get them and didn't realize that they timed out. And they timed out. I couldn't get them. So if you could just chuck those across again, that would be great. Yes. Enio. I think I better start at night because that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. And if people haven't shown up yet, people, as soon as I say I think we better start, then it jumps up to 7. People are just a little bit sluggish to join us tonight. That's all. Don't worry, I'm sluggish. We stopped last time at number 160 in the book, which is when we encountered the boy with a barrow, with his fruit barrow. And we were given an option here to buy a... the boy, listen to this. The boy puts down his barrow and asks you what you would like to buy. He recommends his plums as being particularly refreshing. If you wish to pay 1 gold piece for a bag of plums, let me know. If you wish to buy a bag of red apples, let me know. So it's apples or plums. Apples or plums. Plums. So, chat, your first vote is apples or plums? Was the author a Catholic? The author was Ian Livingstone. I don't believe he was ever a Catholic priest. So we've got 2 votes for apples, 1 for plums. 3 for apples, 1 for plums. Only Jean likes his plums. Apples and pears, stairs. Yeah, that's Cockney rhyming slang. Skin and blister. Sister. I know some that really aren't safe for live streams as well. Okay, we're going for apples. 242. My Discord's pinging in my ears. I've accidentally left it on. Just bear with me. It's all the people in the Mafia game I've been playing, and they are discussing how they lost. You lost because you didn't vote for me, my fellow bad guy. Right. The boy hurriedly picks up his barrow and dashes off, saying he's late for market. You eat an apple, but it is sour. Your stomach starts to hurt and the pain develops into a cramp. You don't feel very well at all. Lose a stamina point. We throw all the other apples away. And we turn to 307. Barney Rubble, trouble. Evening, mage. Evening. Walking towards you along the street are 2 huge guards wearing the black uniform of Lord Azure. With a name like Azure, you'd think they'd be wearing blue. It might just be Azure. As they get closer, you see that they are trolls, brutal mercenaries employed by Lord Azure. I'm going to say Azure from now on, as Imperial elite guards. To your right, there is a tree which reaches almost to the top of the city wall. Shall we risk walking past the trolls, or shall we try and climb the tree in order to get over the wall? Trolls. Don't like them apples at all. Called me skin and blister on the dog and bone. Told her to hurry up. Down the apples and pears. We have 2 choices for tree, 1 for going past the trolls. Oh, I've started yawning already. That's not a good sign. So 2 for climbing the tree, 1 for going past the trolls. Any more votes? Three for tree, 1 for trolls. All right, tree it is then. Tree it is. I'm going to turn my Discord off because it is pinging away. Just let me cancel that. I'll read all the smug "we won" type comments later. The trolls see what you're doing and run towards a tree. You're forced to leave your shield behind. Lose a skill point. After climbing quickly up the tree, you realize you must jump a distance of 2 meters between the branch and the top of the wall. If you're wearing a chainmail coat, you'll have to take it off in order to jump safely across. No, we're not. Below, you see the 2 trolls running around the tree, waving their swords at you. There is no alternative but to jump. I've cancelled Discord now. It's a close shave, but you manage to grip the edge of the wall with your fingertips. You pull yourself up and climb onto a stone walkway on the top of the city wall. On either side of you are stone towers rising above the battlements, spaced some 100 meters apart. There are doors in the towers, both of which are suddenly flung open as more guards run out to capture you. There's a 20-meter drop on the other side of the wall. What will we do? Jump to freedom, fix a climbing rope, if we have one, to the wall and climb down the other side, or face the oncoming guards. We do have rope. So do we jump? Do we use the rope, or do we face the guards? Yes. 4 votes straight away for rope. I think that is the sensible answer. You lower yourself to the ground. Above you, the guards are waving their fists at you from the battlements. You are now outside Port Blacksand. Do you have all the necessary items required to slay the Night Prince? Do we? Can you remember what we needed? Black pearls, silver arrow, lotus flower. We've got those. What are we missing? What are we missing? Well, it does also say, have we been tattooed? No, we haven't been tattooed either. Okay. Okay. Yeah, hag hair. We are missing hag hair. We don't have a tattoo. Hag hair will have been in the cooking pot. It would be extremely dangerous for you to enter Port Black Sand again, especially as many of the town guards would recognize you. There's nothing else you can do but make the long walk back to Silverton to report that you have failed in your mission. That didn't last very long, did it, tonight? 3 out of the 5 things. We had 3 out of the 5 things. But we failed. That's the 3rd time we failed City of Thieves, I think. 3rd time? Okay. So, we have all these books here that we've not finished. No, Slam, we shouldn't have gone west. I think we should have gone east at the start. You know, when Elle says to go down Key Street, is it? Or Clock Street, or one of the ones at the start? Yes. Right. I have here all the books that we've not finished. Morgana in Abaddon 88. You know, I can't find my copy of that book at the moment. It's probably buried under the mound of papers under my desk, but I can't find House of Hell at the moment. It's done a runner. Right. The books I do have out here in front of me. We've tried that one 3 or 4 times and failed. We've tried that one 3 or 4 times and failed. We've tried that one 3 or 4 times and failed. We've tried that once and failed. We've tried that once and failed. We haven't tried that one yet. We won at that one. So I'll put that one over there. We've died a couple of times in that one. We haven't tried that one. I haven't read the spell system in that one, so I can't run you through that yet. And that's the follow-up to one that we haven't yet completed. Oh, we haven't tried that one either. Thief Keith says Freeway Fighter. Go on, chat. Vote for which ones of those you wanted. I'll put them all up there. Up to you what we play. We have a vote for Freeway Fighter. We have already tried it a couple of times and failed. Seven people in chat. And people aren't committing to things, and we're down to 5 again. People are bouncing in and out, and maybe I should have just gone to bed tonight. I could have done with going to bed. So we got 1 vote for Freeway Fighter, 1 vote for Shamu Tanti Hills. Any more of you? Fickle Friday. Yes. We're already committed. What? Which one to? Right. That's so 2 votes for Freeway Fighter, 3 votes for 3 votes for Freeway Fighter, 2 votes for Shamutanti Hills. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Freeway Fighter and Shamutanti Hills out. That was your first ever experience with RPG games? So how old were you when you found that book, Crafting Gamer? I'm not the most organised with my books. They get scattered all over the place. That's the Call of Cthulhu book that's on my desk still from Wednesday. Yeah, that's how organised I am. That's how organised I am, chap. I do apologise because my little dice tray is still over here. Because I completely forgot. I completely forgot to get my bits out. Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you're 5 or 6, I suppose you don't quite get how these books work. You're cleaning the street. Let's get me stuff out. Do you know why I overpaid for this dice rolling tray? Have a guess why I overpaid for it. I bought it at the UK Games Expo about 4 years ago, and I could have gotten for half the price from a regular shop or online, but I bought it from a stall at the UK Games Expo. Guess why I bought it? We've died. You're all wrong so far. No, you're all completely wrong. You're overthinking this. You really are overthinking this. Think simply. Think really, really simply. Oh, no. No, none of that. None of that. No, no, no. Wasn't drunk. Never had one of those when I was a kid. I didn't even attempt to haggle. Didn't belong to it. Gene gets it. Gene gets it. That is the answer. The girl who was manning the stall was absolutely marvelous. That's why I overpaid for it. I'm just rolling some stats for us. I was there with my mate Jordan from my face-to-face group, and he will attest to that. We were both stood there like that, going, sure he bought something as well. I'm sure he bought something as well. Okay. I've just rolled our stats, and our car is pretty tasty, but we are an absolute fool. So we'll get into vehicular fights. Yeah, you can talk about what you like. Talk about what you like, Crafting Gamer. As long as you don't start trying to wind everybody up. But now, if you've got want to talk about one of your future videos, you're more than welcome to do that. Okay. The car also carries, I didn't forget this, missile weapons. Okay. We have 4 rockets, 3 canisters of iron spikes, and 2 oil sprays. Okay, because this is Car Wars. If you ever play Car Wars, build yourself a ram car with a bumper trigger on the ram plate and connect it to multi-fire rocket pods forwards, and just go for the all-out one big hit. Yeah. Okay. Use of the rocket launcher. Vehicle combat. Right, let's just... Okay, we've got 4 rockets. Instead of firing our machine gun, we can, at the start of any attack round, we can fire a rocket instead, which will automatically destroy our opponent. I've had lots of games of Car Wars. I've got about 4 different Car Wars sets. Try and use the gasoline add-on, dual track, and try and set up a race and see if anyone makes it to the first corner. That's always quite amusing. Right. Okay. Let's get going with our introduction. Vid News Bulletin, dateline 21st of July 2022. So this is set last year. I'm sure I made that quip last time. The disaster happened just at a time when the world was beginning to enjoy itself. Oh, I remember this. This book's written in the 80s, and it completely predicted 2020. Nobody could have predicted such a catastrophe. World War III had been averted, and the power blocks of East and West were now working towards world peace and unity. Revolutionary farming techniques had all but eradicated hunger, and increased mobility had led to people's greater understanding of one another. What's that? They make a video showing how to make your own dice tray and tower, one made out of leather, one made... Oh, okay. See, I would never have bothered buying a dice tray if it wasn't for the fact that the girl had great knockers. And otherwise, I never felt the need for one. I just felt the urge in the moment. And I won't, dice towers, I don't allow. You roll your dice on the table in front of me. Because dice towers often have these little fences around the bottom to catch the dice, and people can sort of point the fences towards themselves. And we play on quite a small table as well. Dice towers are a waste of space. Anyhow, Not a fan of dice towers, I'll tell you that now. The morning of 21st of July had started just like any other. It was going to be a hot day, and the news on the holovision was good. A government spokesman proudly announced that solar energy now powered 90% of homes and 70% of industry. The 3-day working week was now the norm, and England was to play the United States in the, why does it say here, the soccer finals of the World Cup in Sydney? Look, written by Ian Livingstone, you're British. You don't say soccer. However, there were only hours to go before the beginnings of the collapse of civilization. Later that day, an unknown disease broke out in New York and spread with such devastating speed and fatality that before the government and scientists realized what was happening, half the population was dead. The disease spread throughout the world, carried by aeroplane passengers, and decimated population centers everywhere. All attempts at quarantine were useless. 4 days after the outbreak, 85% of the world's population were dead. Communications, essential services, transport, and administration were broken down completely. There was no one left to try to find the cause of the outbreak. It might have been a mutated virus or some lethal germ unknowingly released from a chemical warfare laboratory. It was a mere speculation, and nobody really cared, as survival was the top priority. The speed with which civilization fell into ruins was frightening. Most survivors didn't know why they still lived and didn't know how to go about living. Brute force became the law. Riots, looting, destruction, and drunkenness were commonplace. People would even kill for a can of beans. Large cities were soon abandoned due to lack of food and risk of disease. 6 months after the disaster, there remained two kinds of people: those who wanted order again and those who reveled in the disorder. The former grouped themselves into small towns and built defenses around them. Inside, they appointed leaders and began the task of self-sufficiency. These fortress towns became the home of the military, farmers, doctors, and people concerned with the rebuilding of civilization. The other group lived a wild and brutal existence outside. They were the new barbarians, roaming the land in cycle or car gangs. They terrorized or wiped out any small pockets of civilization they came across. You are one of the lucky survivors living in a fortress town which has been named New Hope. You are working on the design of an early warning system to protect the town when you hear a knock at your door. It is two members of the town council, and they look very excited. They tell you that their radio had just picked up a message from a fortified oil refinery near San Anglo in the south. The people there are willing to exchange 10,000 litres of petrol for grain and seeds to improve their food production. The inhabitants of New Hope could certainly use the petrol for generators and agricultural machinery. Being offered 10,000 litres of this rare commodity is too good an opportunity to miss, especially as there are surplus stocks of grain and seed. The council have agreed to the deal and are now looking for someone to undertake the journey to San Anglo to deliver the sacks and drive the petrol tanker back to New Hope. It will be a long and dangerous journey through lawless country. The two men tell you they think you are the best trained person to undertake such a mission and ask if you'd like to volunteer. They tell you that a Dodge Interceptor will be prepared for the journey. It will be fitted with machine guns, radio, roof-mounted rocket launcher, ram bars, loudspeaker, and various defenses, including a rear oil spray, tire shredding spikes, armor plating, and bulletproof windows. You do not need convincing, as the benefit to New Hope will be enormous. This pioneer journey might be the start of the link between new societies trying to bring about civilization. If you succeed, you tell them you'll be able to do the job. Slow down, John. You tell them you will do the job and begin the preparations immediately. Over the next 2 days, you will supervise the modifications to the Interceptor. When it is finally ready, it looks like a battle car. You check it one last time to ensure the weapons work. All the equipment has been packed away in the various compartments. You run through the checklist: map, flashlight, medikit, compass, food, water, full fuel canister, 2 spare wheels, flat-you-fix instant puncture repairer, and tools. Finally, you put the shoulder holster for your revolver and leather jacket, which carries your bullets and knife. Satisfied that you're ready, you climb into the driver's seat. Peering through the narrow steel slit that is now your windscreen, you see the town's population gathered to wave you goodbye. You start up the engine of the Interceptor and crawl forward to the gates leading to the outside world. It is over a year since you last ventured beyond the walls of New Hope, and you are excited at the prospect of what you will find. I ought to put down a list of the stuff we've got because we do tend to forget these things. So we've got map, flashlight, medikit, compass, food, water, fuel canister, full, 2 spare wheels, flat you fix, and tools. There we go. We're sorted. We're sorted. The thing is, Crafting Gamer, if you've got we play with a big dry whiteboard in the middle of the table, which we stand up on plastic cups. So you've got space under to put your character sheets. And we all roll our dice in the open properly across the board. So there's no way you can fiddle it. Those people who say they know how to roll dice, they usually pretty much drop the dice. They don't do that. They've got to roll into the middle of the board. A nice big. So that's the way to do it. You just do everybody roll into the middle of this board. There you go. There's our car. The first thing to strike you as you cruise along the road is the speed with which everything has fallen into decay. You hadn't realized how much maintenance was needed to support civilization. All around, buildings are falling into ruin. Abandoned cars litter the roads in rusted disarray. Grass and weeds have grown rampant everywhere, with nobody to hold them back, and packs of dogs and other wild animals roam freely. You stop at a small town some 15 kilometers from New Hope and switch off your engine. Suddenly it is deathly silent, apart from the eerie howl of a dog somewhere down the street. You're tempted to get out of the car to explore, but realize this is a unnecessary risk. You're about to start your engine again when suddenly the sound of a shotgun breaks the silence. Shall we get out of the car to investigate, or shall we drive out of the town? Investigate, or is our name Zamdam? So do we get out of the car to investigate, or do we just drive out of town? It's been a couple of months since we played this book, so who remembers the best way to start? Or are we going to die in the same place that we did the first time we ever did this book? Have we played this book 3 times or 4 times we've failed at this? So there's been a number of attempts. You've not been here with this book. I've certainly, if you're bored enough to check back through my streams, there are a number of attempts at this, going way back. Daniel remembers. Don't get distracted by knockers in this book. So we've got 1. Yeah, we failed a few, didn't we? We did fail a few. Got 4 investigates, and that's what we'll do. You run across the road and press yourself against the wall of the building, half expecting another shot to ring out. Your heart beats fast as you creep forward slowly to the corner of the building and look around. There's nobody in sight down the narrow street. You take one step around the corner, then a voice shouts out, "Okay, that's far enough. One more step and you'll be full of holes. Where are you from?" Do we tell the person that we're from New Hope, or do we reply that we are a lone road warrior living nowhere in particular? So, do we tell them we're from New Hope, or do we tell them we're a lone road warrior? Tell him what, Daniel? New Hope or lone road warrior? Three New Hopes, two lone road warriors at the moment. Okay, four. Go for Hope. I see 7 in chat. So 4-2. We reply we're from New Hope. From Star Wars Part 4. A man suddenly appears out of the doorway and walks towards you with his shotgun pointed at you. He looks at you sternly and says, "That's where I'm heading. Been cycling for over a week since my station wagon was ambushed and my wife and son were killed. Stopped here to get some cans of food from the supermarket back there when some crazy dogs attacked me. Shot one of them and the others ran off. My name's Johnson. Pleased to meet you." He puts down his shotgun and extends his hand for you to shake. He tells you he's a builder by trade and asks how much further it is to New Hope and whether he's like to be let in. You reply that it's only another 15 kilometres and his chances are good. They need skilled people. You also tell him about your mission and he warns you not to stop at Joe's Garage, which is about 8 kilometres out of town. They ain't got no petrol. They just rob people who stop there. You thank Johnson for the advice, wish him luck and walk back to your interceptor. Its powerful engine roars into life when you turn the ignition key and you screech off once again. You are soon out of town, zigzagging around wrecked cars and fallen trees along the road. Further ahead, you can see that the road joins the main highway south. There's a small filling station at the junction named Joe's Garage. Here's our first bit of railroading. He told us not to stop, and automatically it says, "You stop as you're intrigued by the hot rod parked around the side, looking clean and in running condition." A young girl suddenly comes out of the office wearing a t-shirt and blue jeans. She smiles and says, "Hi, can I help you?" Do we talk to her or do we just continue driving? Do you like my girly voice? There we go. "Hi, honey." So, what should we do? Shall we talk to her or shall we just drive off? Got any dice towers, love? Need a tray. I won't use it. I just want to stand here for 5 minutes admiring the view. I also bought that. That's my pencil case. Handmade wooden pencil case with a dragon's eye on it. Yeah, bought that from her as well. Look, it's really clever. Opens. Waste of money. So we're driving off. It won't let us. Won't let us run her over. Sadly. So we're driving up the highway. Get your motor running. Despite the hazard of having to avoid abandoned cars, the highway is wide enough for you to gather plenty of speed. It's exciting to drive so freely without fear of being hauled in by the police for violating some traffic regulation or another. You smile as your speed reaches 190 kilometers per hour. It's about 120 miles an hour. But your joy is short-lived. You suddenly see a red Chevrolet, heavily reinforced with steel plating, coming straight towards you. Somebody is sitting in a small turret on the roof, a machine gunner. You think to yourself that maybe having to deal with the police in the old days wasn't so bad compared with what's coming at you now. You breathe in deeply and get ready to press the machine gun fire button. Right, it's our first fight. It's a vehicle-to-vehicle fight, which is good because our vehicle's much stronger than we are. Just to give you an idea of our stats, we've got a skill of 8, stamina of 16, and a luck of 10. Our car, though, has a firepower of 12, 34 armor points, which is massive. This car's got firepower of 8 and 15 armor points. So here we go. We're blue dice as usual. One hit. Ooh. No, it's a tie. 2 hits. With a tie. The orange dice are rolling much higher. Another tie. When the orange dice roll 4 higher, we roll 4 and it rolls 8. So it's a tie. So how many times we hit it? Twice so far. That's better. Rolled 5-5. So we hit it that time. 3 hits. 8-6. 4 hits. 7-5. 5 hits. 10-10. 6 hits. 5-7. 7 hits. One more hit. There we go. No damage. No damage. Don't need to fire a rocket when it's got not got particularly great firepower. Come against one with 10 or higher, then we'll blast him with a rocket. I think so. You stop your interceptor to examine the burning wreck. Who are these people and why did they attack you without warning? You shake your head and hit the accelerator, eager to reach your destination. You're passing a security truck and thinking about all the money inside it, which is now useless, when suddenly a voice comes through on your radio above the crackling static. To one of New Hope's leaders, she tells how a gang of bikers have just attacked New Hope, killing 8 people in the process. After a short battle, they were eventually beaten off. She warns you to be on the lookout for them as they have kidnapped Sinclair, the council leader. You acknowledge the message and say goodbye. After an hour or so of driving without any further incident, you notice that your petrol gauge is dropping. The interceptor is very heavy on petrol. You stop and pour the contents of the fuel canister into the tank, realizing you'll have to find some more petrol soon. A few kilometers further, and you know your luck has really run out. There must have been a car crash at the time of the disaster, which caused a huge tailback of now abandoned cars. It's impossible to continue along the highway. You reverse back to the last exit and drive off the highway. You must decide which way to head along the road which crosses over it. Shall we go east or shall we go west? East or west? First route decision. East or west? 2 votes for East, 3 votes for East, 4 votes for East. Crafting Gamer says West. Everybody else has said East. There's always one person who loses out, isn't there? There's always one person. So we're going East. You pass an ambulance parked off the road to your right but see no sign of life. Shall we stop to investigate the ambulance or shall we keep driving east? Investigate the ambulance or keep driving east? People diving in now to investigate. Investigate. Crafting Gamer says keep driving east. 4 people have already said investigate. 5 have said investigate. It's happened again, Crafting Gamer. It's happened again. 267. Investigate the ambulance. You park your Interceptor and walk back to the ambulance. The driver's cab is empty, although the ambulance looks as though it's been driven quite recently. Shall we open the rear door to look inside, or shall we get back inside the Interceptor and head east? Yes. Take the wheels off one side of the car, Justin, and just go round and round and round. Yeah. You ever tried driving a car at speed when it's got a puncture? Missing a wheel? I have. You're not even bothering to vote this time because everyone's already said check inside. Yeah. When I was competing in rallying, had a puncture early in one stage. My fault. I clipped a curb, and we drove another 6 or 7 miles on the wheel rim as fast as we possibly could. Absolutely shredded the bumper. Right. The car didn't steer very well either. Right. Okay. We're looking inside the ambulance. You turn the handle and pull. An explosion, accompanied by a brilliant white flash and a deafening noise, sends you reeling backwards. The door was booby-trapped. Roll 1d6 and deduct the number from your stamina score. 3. My worst accident, where I barrel rolled at about the same sort of speed as that, but landed on my wheels. That was in Penmachno Forest in North Wales. Finished the stage. No rear window. Wipers got torn off. All right. The door hangs off its hinges, but there's nothing inside the ambulance. Its owner will probably be on his way now to see who is caught. You feel too weak to reach Interceptor and decide to crawl into hiding. Shall we hide in the grass or shall we hide under the ambulance? Hide in the grass or hide under the ambulance? Was I number 7? get the reference. Oh, we have differences of opinions. 1, 2, 3, 3 at the moment. It's 3-3, and we only have 6 people visible in chat. Well, I can only see 6. It's showing me 6 in chat, and now there's 7 votes. So, because we've got Justin saying under the ambulance, if Keith, Jeb Gordon, and Major's Musings now saying under the ambulance. So that's 4 ambulance to 3 grass. So clearly it's lying about the number of people in chat. So we've had 7 votes. It says there's 6 people. Right. Hiding under the ambulance. Lying perfectly still under the ambulance, you hear the sound of footsteps approaching. The pain in your side is severe, making you grip your revolver tightly. Suddenly, a man's voice shouts, "Hey, stupid. Think I can't follow a trail of blood? Throw your gun out and ease yourself out from under that ambulance with your hands up. Shall we obey him, or shall we roll out from under the ambulance firing our gun?" So do we obey, or do we fight? Up to you, chaps. Yeah. Port Merion's, yeah, on the coast near Portmaddock, I believe. Roll and fire. Only Daniel says obey. Everyone else says bam, blam, bam, bam, bam. So that's 10 to 12. You know your chances are slim, but there's no alternative. This bandit has got you cold. Ignoring the pain, you roll out from under the ambulance and fire 2 wild shots at your unseen adversary. They both miss. For you suddenly see a scruffy man wearing a red headband jump up from behind a rock, returning fire at you. Resolve this combat using the shooting rules. Are there different shooting rules? Let me just have a quick look. Ah, right. Okay. Shooting rules is a D6 damage. Okay. So, first round. Eight, 6. We hit and do 4 points of damage. This is a very even fight, by the way. Very, very even fight. So this could go wrong. 7, 8. He shot us for 4 points of damage. 10, 6. We've hit for 6 points of damage. 9, 6. We've hit again. We've got him. We've got him. The only advantage we had when we started with same skill and 1 more stamina point, but the dice favored us. The blue dice were good to us. 131. We've beaten the Highwaymen. Can't fire a rocket. The rockets are in the car. You search through the dead man's pockets and you find 150 credits and a pair of knuckle dusters. You pocket your findings, and when you feel strong enough, limp back to your interceptor, wondering how long your medikit will last. You turn the ignition key and burn up the road, heading east. Turn to 22. You flash past a road sign which shows a turning to the south immediately ahead. Shall we drive south or shall we keep on going east? South or east? One east, one south. Two east, three south at the moment. Yeah, any more votes? It says we're down to 4 people in chat. That can't be right because 6 people have just posted. I don't trust this tonight. I really don't trust this. Unless I'm being trolled by people coming in and out and in and out and in and out. UC5 listed. Okay. We do usually have up to 20. It's a quiet one tonight. I wonder if there's something going on that I'm missing. Or maybe people are just busy. Anywho. Or maybe people didn't listen when I said on Wednesday that I wouldn't be doing a Friday stream on the 31st of March and thought, oh, Gary Con's this weekend. Fair enough. Maybe people thought when I said I wouldn't be here next week, they thought it was going to be this week. Anyway. Maybe. No, I won't be here next week. Got a fundraiser at the Nippers Football Club. If it's anything like last time, it'll cost me a fortune. Oh well. Okay, so which way are we going? South or east? South has won. 3-2. $311. A few miles down the road, you come to a small, crudely constructed wooden bridge which crosses a narrow river. There is a sign nailed to the bridge warning you not to cross the river. Shall we drive across regardless, or shall we turn around and drive back to the last junction? It's where I go to the bar and ply myself with beer and bet on completely random horse races with no form supplied. They're just old videos of horse races with new commentary done over the top, and we sponsor the horses in the races. I've sponsored one horse. Destined to be dog food is my horse. Don't know which race it's going to be. Turn around. Oh, 1, 2, 2. 2 say turn around. 2 say drive across the bridge. It says don't cross. 3. 3, 2 now for crossing the bridge. I mean, there's absolutely no skill involved because it's random old races and random and they're all 6 or 8 horse races, and you just pick a number from a random number, and half of what the money that's staked goes to the as a fundraiser for the club. I believe it goes to help pay the coaches and the equipment for the youth teams, the kids teams, because they have big kids training sessions on a Saturday morning, and the other half is paid back in winnings. So it's very poor odds, but who cares? We are there to raise a bit of money, and the club's been good to us. So at the moment, it's been a while, hasn't it? Yes, spit your drink out on the name. Yes, destined to be dog food. Okay, now I remember this bridge, and I have a feeling you lot will soon, because the first time we played through this book, we attempted to cross the bridge. You crawl onto the bridge, steering carefully to avoid the wheels coming off the 2 main beams. Suddenly, there is a loud explosion. Somebody has detonated the bridge, sending the interceptor crashing into the river below, and we have failed in our mission. I knew that was going to happen. I should have said. So that's probably our 4th failure on this book now. Right. That was a little bit too quick, so we're going to play the same book again. And I'm going to help us through quite quickly. In fact, probably the best thing for me to do is just to rub out the pencil marks at the top, and just roll the dice again for our stats. Okay, right. Let's start rolling stats. Okay, skill 9, stamina. Oh, still not very good. 17. Hang on. I messed that up. Oh, I did our stamina wrong first time. It's 24 plus 2 dice. We failed on Thieves, Straw Piglet, so we're playing something else at the moment. Luck. I will roll. Oh, got a nice mighty 12 luck. So 9, 31, 12. Car firepower. Ooh. Good. Car is good as could possibly, just a bit of skill. Otherwise, we are strong. So let's do this properly. Let's think about it. And we'll go back to that first choice where we have left the town of New Hope and we hear the sound of a shotgun. Right. So it was lack of hair, lack of tattoo, Straw Piglet. Lack of hair and lack of tattoo. I can see my stream is starting to flicker. I think I know why. Do we get out of the car to investigate the sound of the shotgun, or shall we just drive straight out of town this time? Up to you. Yeah. So we're on our first decision. That's what we're playing at the moment. That's what we're driving. It is Mad Max. It is Mad Max. So, you reckon we drive off? Yeah, I mean, the guy you talked to only really told you not to trust the people at the garage, so... Oh, I just accidentally clicked on a comment for sure, Piglet. That's my mouse getting tangled. Yes, skinny Irish guy remembered the book. Right, so we're keeping driving then. Okay, turn to 34. Right, we know that bit where we meet the young lady at Joe's garage. Do we stop and talk to her, or do we drive on up the highway? So do we stop at the garage to talk to the young lady, or do we continue up the highway? Just 2 votes so far, both going for talk. Oh, Straw Piglet, you weren't here for the first run through of this book, were you? Okay. Okay. Just waiting for a few more votes to come in. In fact, I'm going to open another tab. Move tab to new window. If I have the chat open on... It might help if I have another window open and the real-time chat on. I don't know, are people lagging? Oh, no. No extra comments in there. What era? We're in 2022. Okay. So this time you want to stop and talk. Right. Thief Keith gets a vote in very quickly. I can see how this book was written in 1985. Oh, we're up to 9 people in chat. 9 people. So I'm just going to hold on a moment. We've pulled into Joe's gas station at the start of Freeway Fighter for the people who've just joined us, and we have the option to stop and talk to the attractive young lady in a t-shirt and blue jeans, or do we drive off? It does, yes. Though it is copying Mad Max, really, isn't it? All right. So we have 4 chat and 3 drive off. So we are chatting this time. For those who just joined and missed the first run through, if you stop at the start, oh, now that's tied it. 4-4. 4-4. Is anyone changing your vote? Anyone? Musings has just got that vote in time. We're at 4-4. 4 for chat, 4 for drive off. Nobody changing their vote. Nobody. Thing is, I know the right answer to this one. Happy to drive off. Yeah, okay. Andrew's happy to drive off, so we're going to drive off. I'll give you I will say to people who missed the first run throughs of this book, you're not meant to stop there. They try to rob you, so drive off is the right answer. Okay. Despite the hazard of having to avoid abandoned cars, the highway is wide enough for you to gather plenty of speed. Bit of deja vu here. I read this about half an hour ago. It's exciting to drive so freely without fear of being hauled in by the police for violating some traffic regulation or other. You smile as your speed reaches 190 kilometers an hour, but your joy is short-lived. You suddenly see a red Chevrolet, heavily reinforced with steel plating, coming straight towards you. Somebody is sitting in a small turret on the roof, a machine gunner. You think to yourself, having to deal with police in the old days wasn't so bad compared to what is coming at you now. You breathe in deeply and get ready to press the machine gun fire button. Right, okay. This is our first fight again against the red Chevy. It's a much weaker car than ours, so while we could use rockets against it, 190 kilometers an hour is about 120 miles an hour. So it's a decent pace. But we go through the fight as it causes damage to us. Great start. It beat us by 8 on that roll. That's better. So we've hit it once, hit it twice, hit it 3 times, hit it 4 times, hit it 5 times, hit it 7 times to win. Yeah. It's done some minor damage to us, but we've beaten it. So we continue along the road. Just a quick summary for those. So it's quite a long piece, this one. So, quick summary for those who joined after we played the first time through. We continue along the road. We use up our spare fuel can because we run out of fuel. Find out they've kidnapped a guy called Sinclair, and the road is then blocked. So we have a choice. We have a choice of which way to go. This is where the book really starts proper. So, do we drive east or do we drive west? We went east last time, and then we went south, which was the wrong way. So, east or west here? Now up to 10 in chat. So, just to let you know again, come back to Freeway Fighter. This is our fourth or fifth attempt at this book, but our first for a little while. And we've already failed at it once tonight. 2-2. We're at 4 east, 3 west at the moment. Any more votes? I'm not planning to overlap with Legion's live stream this week. Of course, our clocks change on Sunday, so we're still an hour different. So we might have to stop this one a little bit early. We'll see. We'll see how it's going. If it suddenly gets busy in here, I'll keep going. But okay. East has won, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 east. 1, 2, 3, 4 west. Yeah, under 10 minutes. Yeah, because the clocks have changed, haven't they? Let's see how far we can get. Let's rattle through. You see, I don't like to overlap other people's streams when they're already established. And once the clocks change, our clocks change as well. We'll be back to the same time frame as before, where when I start at 9:30 my time, I have 2.5 hours before his stream starts at midnight. But because America's clocks moved last week before last, and ours don't move till Sunday, we overlap in the middle now. This is where we pass the ambulance. Okay, we pass an ambulance parked off the road to your right, but see no sign of life. Do we stop to investigate the ambulance, or do we just keep driving east? Ambulance. So do we investigate this ambulance, or do we keep driving east? Yes. I think we should just stick on the summertime ones because it get longer evenings. I'm not fussed about being dark in the morning.
You don't see
it. You hear the wife chime in there because you don't see it. I'm not an early riser. Do you know this whole book, Straw Piglet? If you know it, then vote away, and hopefully we'll be able to get through it, because we have died in it numerous times. Yeah, I think everyone in chat remembers the ambulance because we stopped here half an hour ago, so they should remember what happened. Right. 1 drive, 1 investigate. 3 drives, 2 investigates. Got more votes for drive than investigate. Yes, it's booby trapped. So we continue this time. You flash past a road sign which shows a turning to the south immediately ahead. Shall we go south or shall we keep going east? It's south to the bridge where we died last time. Just to make sure we don't go exactly the same way and die in exactly the same place. Our goal is to reach another town and organize a trade of fuel for grain. That's our goal. And the town is a long way to the south. The channel's just called Legion of Myth, so it's quite a big channel, 4,000 odd subs. Should we play a game of Settlers of Catan? Grain and sheep and wood. So we're going east. Okay. Turn to 203. The road is open and wrecked cars are an infrequent hazard. The speedometer reads well above the maximum speed limit that used to control the road, but you know there is no chance of getting a speeding ticket now. Your enjoyment, however, is short-lived. A roadblock of upturned cars and trucks comes into view. You slow down and survey the scene, sensing danger. What do we do here? Fire a rocket at the roadblock, try to drive around the roadblock, or turn around and go back to the junction and go south. So do we pew-pew with rocket? Do we try and drive around the roadblock? Or shall we go back to the junction and head south? I'm sure when you voted for drive around, you knew you'd be outvoted here, Jean, because you know what chat are usually like? Kill it. So yeah, it's not surprising. Blow it up. Completely devastated. The options there. All right. Reaching forward, you press the rocket launcher button on the control panel. The interceptor shakes as the rocket is fired, and the explosion, which follows immediately, is loud and blinding. When the smoke clears, you see that the roadblock no longer exists. Suddenly, you hear the roar of a motorcycle engine starting up and see two leather-clad armed riders appearing from behind a bush and blaze up the road through a hole in the roadblock. The passenger turns and fires a warning shot at you as the bike races away. Shall we chase after them, or shall we let them get away? There's us blowing up the roadblock. There's only one rocket. Our car's now got 3 rockets left. You start with 4. He's starting now. Okay. Right, so we'll make this decision, and we'll just keep it to a short stream tonight because don't want to be overlapping someone who's got an established stream. So chase, let go. So This is your last vote. So do we chase after them or do we just keep on our merry way? It's 3-2 at the moment for Chase. Chase them. 4-2 for Chase. So shall I scribble down? Okay, we will start next week's stream. Oh, next week. Well, yeah, of course. Won't be here next week. Won't be here next week. Yeah, just remind you. Next week is the football club race night, so I'll be having a beer and losing my money. All in a good, all for a good cause. So in 2 weeks' time, we'll be chasing the bikers down the road. Sorry, it was a little bit shorter tonight, but our clocks will be the same, back to normal next time. So we'll be able to go for the full 2.5 hours. Until then, I'm going to just say thanks to chat for joining in. Haven't had too many in tonight. It's just been a pleasant little chat. Wednesdays are going to continue as normal. No change to Wednesdays. So I'll be here next Wednesday and the Wednesday afterwards. So I shall see you soon.